What's going on, legends? CH from BREWS and VIDS. Proud to welcome you to week 3 of Gamers Talking Gaming. This week we have Robot Hot Dog. This guy stems from Orange County. He's up there. Robot, what's going on, man?
What is up, my friend?
Give me some California love.
California love.
Robot likes synthesizers. He has a SoundCloud link in his bio. His stuff is cool. He's a nerd. We're all nerds. A little background check. We did this last night, and we didn't record it properly. And at 3 in the morning, I was frustrated, pissed off, waking my girlfriend up. And you know what I did to get back into a positive vibe?
You drank some beer?
No, I didn't. I went on Netflix, and I watched Fuller House.
Oh, man.
I watched 2 of them.
Oh, man.
They're good. Dude, it's a recipe for depression, man. If you're ever bummed out, get your Danny Tanner fix. I'm not kidding.
That's all you need in life. Some
It's
Danny
a prescription.
Tanner.
So, Robot, what's going on, man? How'd the world treat you today?
Today was pretty good. Today was my birthday. I got lots of birthday wishes.
Happy birthday, Robot.
They made
Shout
me-
out to Robert Edgerly.
Edgerly?
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, man. Dirty 30 today or 31?
30 dirty.
You live to tell about it, man. A lot of people say I'm not going to live till I'm 30, but congratulations. Happy birthday.
I made it.
Did your buddies take you out and get you all fucked up?
We're going to go out tomorrow.
What? Oh, it's Friday tomorrow. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow's probably a work day for you.
Tomorrow is a work day for me.
Tomorrow's a work day for you. All right, brother. So I think you've listened to a couple interviews. I kind of start out by asking my guest their very first video game memory. Do you remember the first time you ever saw a video game, whether it was at a buddy's house, your house, Target, a store, anything on display? Do you remember that?
I remember being elementary school, first or second grade.
6 or 7 years old.
I wasn't on anything. I saw it on TV and I always wanted it. Me and my sister always wanted it. And then one day we came home from school.
Wanted what?
A Nintendo.
An NES.
A Nintendo Entertainment System.
Gotcha.
And we saw it on TV and it was the best thing ever. And we wanted one so bad. And we kept asking and asking. And it was summer. Summer we came home from school one day and it was the last day of school. And we had... my mom had a present for us. It wasn't in her birthdays. Mine's in March. My sister's is in June.
Gotcha.
It's probably closer to her birthday, but
Okay.
we had a gift, and it was a Nintendo Entertainment System, Mario Brothers Duck Hunt,
Nice.
the Zapper,
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Gyromite,
Don't know it.
and Rob the Robot.
Rob the Robot.
Rob the Robot played with a couple games, and one of them happened to be Gyromite, and all he did was move the top from one button to the other to lift up gates.
This is pretty late. That means you got this game pretty much about the time the Super Nintendo was coming out. Because we're talking like 92.
Yeah, so what happened when my cousin got the Super Nintendo?
Okay. So now you're like, fuck the Nintendo.
So he
out with the old, in with the new.
He handed down his Nintendo to the younger generation.
Nice. Good man.
And then, sure enough, yeah, he gave us on third grade for my birthday. Shortly after, I got Mario Brothers 3 and the Nintendo Power Guide to go with it.
Mario Brothers 3. Is that your favorite Mario personally? And do you think it's the best Mario of them all?
So, I have a tattoo on my back, and it's a huge tattoo. And it is a giant cross
Okay.
with Zombie Mario and Luigi and the Ghost House and a skull, Dry Bones, and the Super Mario Brothers World. Remember when you do the secret level and you get to make it autumn? The piranha plants turn into pumpkins.
Yeah, that's after you beat all the special levels.
Yeah,
Gnarly.
all this is
Gnarly
blasted. All of
bazooka.
it's blasted on my back.
I need to see a picture of that. You need to prove it.
Oh, I'll send you a picture, my friend.
Okay. So.
But yeah, I used to speedrun that game before I realized, or before speedrunning was a thing. Like
before YouTube.
Before YouTube, definitely. I was very, very little. Me and my friend, we got all the exits one summer, and then we were like, okay, this is boring now. let's try to beat the game as fast as we can. So we would
like it.
we would go up, we'd go through the Star Road.
Star
It was
World.
at the time the category now is 16 exit, which is the fastest legitimate way without, cheating, I guess you could say.
What's your time?
My time was the fastest I was ever able to do was 18 something.
That's with beating what, like 10 levels, 2 Star Roads, Bowser's Final Castle?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I would go up World 2, go in the secret lake, loop down around, kill Big Boo, get on the Star Road.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Go through the whole Star Road quick as I can, and then end up at Bowser's back door.
I could vividly picture that. Just below the Donut House.
Oh yeah, then you got to get that super secret. Oh yeah.
Oh, I want to play that game now. Dude, I'm playing too many games right now. I'm playing Resident Evil 4. I'm trying to get 120 stars in Mario 64. I play Smash Brothers every night with my buddies I met via Instagram, Skype, YouTube, social media buddies. And now I want to play Super Mario World. And I want to beat it, not in 20 minutes. I want to beat all 96 levels. All 96.
108 exits?
There's 96.
Yes, but some of them, like in Forest, right, have the double exit.
Well,
96 exit? It's something like that.
Well, if you do the secret or not, you have to do the secret to unlock stuff, and then you have to go back and beat the level and run through
Yeah.
the vertical meter at the end.
Uh-huh.
Cool. When you're playing video games, do you mostly drink beer? Well, let's rewind the clock. Robert's a homebrewer. He's a fellow homebrewer from Costa Mesa. He's up there in Orange County. Everyone remember that Jack Black movie, Colin Hanks? He's trying to get into Stanford. That's the street Robert lives on. That's Robert's neighbors.
Yeah, Jack Black's my neighbor, definitely.
He's his neighbor. Dude, can you stay in your room? Why? Because I've got important people coming over, and you're an embarrassment. Okay. I don't know. So, Robert's a homebrewer. Do you drink beers mostly when you're playing video games?
I try to try new beers all the time, whether I'm playing video games or not. But definitely, always got to have a cold brew when you're sitting on the couch, controller in hand, just putting it down.
What's your go-to right now, beer-wise, microbrew-wise?
My go-to right now. I've been drinking a lot of Lagunitas IPA because it's inexpensive.
It's not that expensive.
Solid.
Yep.
IPA. You can't go wrong with that one. So it's pretty much like a daily drinker for me almost. If I were to have one.
The beer's good. Like in that category, I would put like Sierra Nevada Torpedo in there as well. You can still get a 6-pack for about $10, maybe $10.99.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, the 6-packs of microbrews, they really skyrocket. They start at about $12.99. What's Sculpin? $16.99.
Oh yeah, I saw grapefruit Sculpin for $17 for a 6-pack. That was like,
No, that's too much for beer.
That's too much for beer. I don't care how good it is.
72 ounces. We're talking, I don't know. I don't even want to break down the cost per ounce. Every time you take a sip, it's like 75 cents.
Just drinking quarters.
I heard you just crack a can. That wasn't a Lagunitas.
What I'm drinking tonight.
Don't say Budweiser, man. Are you playing Smash Brothers with items on too? Don't say Budweiser.
21st Amendment Brewery Sneak Attack.
Nice. I did a Brews and Vids with their Hell or High Watermelon.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That's their Hell or High Watermelon is probably the most drinkable watermelon beer I've had.
I love that beer.
Everyone else, Lost Coast has one.
Lost Coast, that's up in Mendocino County. That's like the downtown brown.
No, yes, they're up in Eureka.
They've got all the Picasso style labels.
Yeah, two ladies opened that one up. Yeah, very cute place. I've been there.
Ale. Yeah.
But what was I saying? Yeah, 21st Amendment, pretty good. Saison Sneak Attack, Solid.
I can't drink Saisons. I can't drink Belgians. I can't drink Belgian yeast.
Oh, man.
I can't do it.
Are you allergic? You're going to break out?
No, you just like what you like and you don't like what you don't like. I
Yeah,
can't eat tomatoes. I'm 31 years old. I can't eat a tomato.
Oh.
I would literally get thrown out of a fucking window into glass shards than eat a tomato. I'll barf at the dinner table. I don't know if I'm allergic.
Well, okay, so then what about pizza?
It's not a tomato. People are like, oh, don't you eat ketchup? Don't you like salsa? I'm like, there's 1,000 other. Ketchup is sugar. Ketchup is straight sugar.
So what is it about tomatoes? The texture?
Like a tomato to me is equivalent to like a pumpkin. You know, you open up, it's like juicy and seedy and it smells like shit and it's slobbery. It's fucking gross. It's beat as hell. And I know it's good for you, which sucks because I would love to eat it. I love Bloody Marys. I'm a Bloody Mary connoisseur. Can't do a tomato. Not even close. Trash. You serve me a food. You serve me. I order a hamburger. I say no tomatoes. You serve it with a tomato in it. I'm going on Yelp, first name basis. I'm going for blood, man. I don't get it. I can't do it. I hate that pico. I don't know why they call it pico de gallo. It's fucking chopped up tomatoes. It's not pico de gallo. It's not a cool Spanish name. It's fucking chopped up tomatoes with maybe a hint of cilantro or something. Doesn't work on me. I don't know. I mean, you like what you like, and you don't like what you don't like. You can't control that. You can't control. You can't wake up as a baby and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna hate fucking asparagus and Brussels sprouts." You just do. And I love Brussels sprouts.
Oh, those are the jam right there.
So tell me about your job, dude. What do you do for a living?
I am a food storage clerk for a culinary school.
Food, and you work at the Art Institute.
I work at the Art Institute of California, Orange County.
If you don't want to answer a question,
campus of Argosy University. I got to make that clear.
All right, man, get it all out there. If you don't want to answer any questions, just say pass, and I'll ask you even more personal questions. No, I'm just kidding. We'll just pass. But we talked a little bit, and you said that you like your job.
I love my job.
You like your title, but you don't like the company. You don't like the big picture. For profit.
It's very hard to stomach knowing that my company is trying to make a profit off of people's, education. So,
how's that different than any other college or private school, high school?
I feel that other ones, they care more about, teaching people what school's all about, right? Education, making people better, giving them the tools they need to succeed at life, get them a good job, not give them something, but trying to make a profit off of it. It just doesn't. To me, it doesn't make sense. Do you think
it's more so up to the teacher or up to the institution? Because I've had teachers that, I went to good schools, publics.
The instructors at my work and the instructors I had going through school, most amazing teachers I've ever met. Very passionate about their craft. They're very knowledgeable. They know a lot, and they want you to succeed. So what makes the school worth it is the people you meet, the instructors you learn from, and the opportunities you get at the end from them, making that network strong, putting in the hard work and getting a good product.
I agree with that, and I've been like that my whole life. If a teacher, I could tell, is just going through the motions and kicking it into autopilot, trying to get through the day, trying to get through the curriculum, I won't pay attention, and I'll probably cheat. Whatever, my buddy next to me, if he does the homework, I'll just copy it and change the words up a little bit. But if I find a teacher that's like really passionate and he wants to actually hear what the student's feedback is when he answers questions, and if he gives you a fucked up score on a test and you can debate it with him and he'll give you, leeway, then I'll buy into it and I'll try to get an A in his class. But yeah, if a teacher's just going through the motions, they've got to pretty much say the same shit 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day, I'm out. You know, I'll do the bare minimum to get by, but I'm not inspired. I'm not motivated.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. These colleges are weird nowadays. I mean, I had a buddy that did an online school. I think he actually got his credentials, teaching credentials. And in one of the tests, he submitted it via online. It wasn't like you hand your, your test to the teacher and they grade it and give it back to you, on Monday morning. He submitted it online, and within like 10 minutes, like 3 minutes, he got an email saying like, oh, you got a B+ or something. I was like, dude, clearly nobody read this. Like, this is clearly like a scam school.
Yeah.
There's no teachers. It's online classes. They want $50,000. Out of control.
Yeah. Online classes, it's difficult because you're online, right? You can learn. I've learned everything I've learned about home brewing. I've learned everything about
Google.
synthesis.
Google.
Yeah.
YouTube.
On the internet. Google,
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Reading on forums, seeing what
Yeah.
other people had to say, and
Sure.
people posting tutorials. I didn't have to pay for my knowledge to learn how to brew, to learn how any of the things I do with music.
Mm-hmm.
The synthesizers, learning music theory. I've learned it all online. Everything I know is all self-taught.
Trial and error, screwing up, having your mash tun not get to 152 and your sugar.
And then you're like,
you don't get enough sugar and your beer comes out fucking 4% and you think you were shooting for like 7%. You're going to learn from that. You're going to learn to be prepared better next time. How much shelf life do you think these colleges have left? Like these Ashford University and DeVry and University of Phoenix. I mean, when do you think people are going to figure out that information's free? You could Google anything. You could probably watch a YouTube video on how to do a open heart surgery or change your clutch or, just do something very, very intricate. You think there's 10 years left? You think we're going
it's
less?
At most
10 years?
5.
5 years?
Yeah.
And then what? Everybody just Googles everything?
Yeah, but the thing is, working with beer, right? You don't learn these things unless you do them.
It's a lot of hands-on.
A lot of hands-on. So a lot of these things have to change to where you get people more involved. You put them out in the real world versus reading things on textbooks, which is copy and pasted from the internet.
I ran into a teacher. This was so funny. I ran into a teacher that came into my brewery, I think yesterday. Not my brewery, the brewery I worked for. Mr. McCormick. He didn't like me when I was 17 or 18 because I was the tech deck kid. The little finger skateboards, you're grinding all over the desks and chair in front of you and shit like that. And this guy would always hold on to my tech decks. And he came up and ordered a beer, and I was like, "Are you Mr. McCormick?" And he was like, "I am." And I said, "Do you remember me?" He's like, "Yeah, I do. Is your name like Carter or Colin?" I was like, "I'm Casey. I'm CH." He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I was the tech deck kid." And he was like, "Yeah." And we kind of had a little giggle. And I was trying to pick his mind about education now. I was like, dude, if you couldn't stand tech decks, imagine like every kid on their phone nowadays. And he was like, people, I only really stress people putting their phones away for tests. If I'm lecturing and a guy wants to go on his phone, I don't care anymore because they're all on their phone. I just look at it as a reflection that he's probably not going to do better on the test. Get as good of a grade as the guy that doesn't stay on the phone. But he was like, it's ridiculous. They have to put the phone away for tests, right? Because you can Google all the answers. So, what's the point? But you're talking about college having a 5-year shelf life for online colleges. What about just regular education? What about high school? Junior high? I mean, why are we going to school? Pretty much because it's daycare and it takes stress off the parents. I mean, if you can just Google anything, what's the point of going somewhere that hoards information and trying to learn it? If you can Google any information that has ever existed in the history of the world.
But at the same time, playing devil's advocate,
Let's hear it.
do you believe everything you read on the internet? I know I don't.
I don't believe anything I hear from anything, whether it's a person, a book, a school book, the internet. I don't know. I don't think I have that hard of a time thinking for myself. If someone teaches me something or says something to me and I think it's bullshit, I'll probably look further into it.
Yeah.
If they call me Solo has 5,000 new subscribers every month, I'm probably going to look into it. I'm probably going to see, because it makes no sense to me on Instagram how people have 50,000, 100,000 followers that aren't celebrities. I don't get it. Unless you're legitimately doing like $1,000 giveaways all the time, then it kind of makes sense. But when I come across somebody in the video game community and he's got 36,000 followers and all of his posts are just the same stuff we do, grab 2 video games, put them on a bookshelf, take a picture, put a filter on it, use a lot of shitty hashtags. Why does he have 36,000 followers? Obviously there's something behind it, probably some bullshit. And either I can sniff it out or I can't sniff it out. I'm not the Instagram police. But, the first night that Quinn, my buddy N64 Quinn, told me about Solo's Amiibo giveaway and sent me 2 pictures, I immediately was just like, this is fucking a shame. And the reason, it's my problem that I have a problem with it. If I didn't care, I'd be like, whatever. But I do giveaways and there's a reality to it. And, counting them up and making it legit and filtering out of the bogus ones.
Logistical nightmare. I can't even imagine.
It's horrible. But the worst part, I think, is like the kids. Because the kids don't have jobs. I mean, Robert, you can go and buy a $60 video game tomorrow. Kids can't do that. They have to wait till Christmas and shit like that, or their birthday, or their bar mitzvah, or whatever, their quinceañera. Once a year, twice a year. And you're scamming these kids into following you. It's just like, come on, man. And Solo's my age. I think he's pushing 30. I'm 31. He's my age. I don't know, man. I posted. I said, you're bullshit. And he instantly blocked me. I've asked him to do my podcast. I've had people DM him and say, Casey wants you on to do this. He won't. I'd pay him $100. I would pay him $100 if he came on this podcast and did it with me. He probably would hang up after 5 minutes, but I would just ask him 10 questions. How much rent does your parents charge you? What happened to your white rapper career? I mean, you go from gangster rapper, rapping about guns, shotguns, killing people, getting rich as a fucking rapper, and then you go from like nerdy gamer, Mario, action figures. It's kind of conflict of interest, right? Trying to be a Johnny Macho MC, and then behind the curtain you're hanging out playing fucking Yoshi Story, Mario Maker. I don't know. So, Robot, you fall asleep?
No, I'm still here, bro.
What's your favorite video game of all time? As I fill my beer up, let's hear it.
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger. Do you know what my favorite video game is of all time?
Barbie? Princess Adventure?
Chrono Trigger.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed.
By far. Why is it your favorite video game?
I'm a big fan of sci-fi and
Time travel?
and time travel.
Yeah.
And it was revolutionary. It was one of the very first games, if not the first game, to have multiple endings.
Did you see them all? I think there was 7 I saw. I remember the flying away in the balloon.
I legitimately got 2 endings. The rest I YouTubed. But I didn't want to go through it 5
He's
more
coming
times.
clean. Usually at the end of these interviews, I ask somebody, I'll be like, hey, do you want to come clean about anything? But I'll cross that question off because I think you just came clean. I got 2 of the endings.
To the ending,
and then I
just
YouTube.
Google the rest.
Then I YouTube. Are you a firm believer that Chrono Trigger is way better than Final Fantasy VI?
Yes.
Thank you. And why? I mean, do you think Chrono Trigger is the best game of all time, or do you think it's just your personal favorite? Hot seat.
I would say it's my personal favorite. I do. Going back to the best game of all time, I think about
Mario
and IGN's top 100 games of all time, and their number one was Mario 3.
Was it Mario 3?
Mario 3, yes, IGN's number one game all time. That whole list, top 100. Me and my roommates were all big gamers. We went through and we all had a discussion.
But
it was pretty much
sucks.
a screaming fight. It was like we're upset with what IGN said, and like, how could we think that? And we're just so it ended up a really passionate discussion about video games. It was fun to go through them, but like,
was that the one where they put like Tetris in there in the top 10?
It was. I don't remember
I'll
the
look
top.
into it.
I don't remember the top 10. I remember what I wanted, what I thought, and I'm like,
what'd you think? Mario.
My favorite games were way down there, and I'm like, what is this?
The best video game of all time. The best console video game of all time. I think I'm going to go with... I mean, this question's fucking impossible. Zelda? Legend of Zelda? I mean, without that, there's no A Link to the Past, there's no Ocarina. I'm going with that. I think they gambled with that. You know, it wasn't a side scroller. It was more than just a jump. Fireball.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. I'm saying the big picture of video games, the greatest video game of all time is Legend of Zelda. It was hard. You know, there's a lot of secrets. Like, how the hell would I figure this out? They made it easier, I think, in A Link to the Past. Here's what's crazy. In the best video game of all time to me is probably The Legend of Zelda. But I think A Link to the Past is fucking way better than it.
Link to the Past is number 2 on IGN's top 100.
But then you got to factor in, like, well, if there was no Link to the Past, if there was no Legend of Zelda, they could have gone without Adventures of Link.
Link to the Past solidified the Zelda formula. They said, this is it. This is what we're going to do from here on out.
God, that game was so good. I could cry thinking about that game. I mean, I've heard my dad say where he was when he heard that JFK died or John Lennon died. I remember exactly where I was when I knocked down the Book of Medora from the library, when you got the Pegasus boots and there's no internet, there's no player's guide. You're kind of going off just talking to the townspeople. You go in there. I'm 6 years old. I run into the bookshelf. The book falls. I can go to the desert. I'll remember that for the rest of my life. I will until I die or have Alzheimer's or something worse.
That game, my best memory in that game was when I discovered you can get infinite coins from that desert and that rock. Just go out, go back in, get another 20.
What do you mean coins? Rubies?
The rupees, yeah.
Oh.
Just farming them and just infinite. You don't need them anymore. I'm like, man.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, there's in the entrance to the desert in the light world, there's 2 giant rocks. One of them has a underground get a whole bunch of blue rupees from a thief.
Okay.
Exit, go back in, they're back.
Did I ever tell you that my first newborn kid is going to be named Sahasrara?
Sassafras.
And I'm gonna dress him up every single day. I'm gonna shave his head, draw a beard on him, and I'm gonna put him in a green wardrobe, and he's permanently gonna wear that for the rest of his life or until he beats my ass. He can stand up for himself. No, I love that game. I mean, that game. I still remember the front cover of the Nintendo Power. It was like an actual dude. Who played that guy? Was that an actor? It was like the bird's eye view looking down. I mean, it was a picture. It wasn't like an animated. It wasn't an art. Do you remember the picture of the Nintendo Power?
I think I do.
Are you gonna look it up right now? I want to meet that dude. I want to buy him a beer. We're looking it up. So, back to your job. Back to your dream. What is your dream? What do you want to be doing in 3 years? Do you want to be at the Art Institute?
Definitely not. I want to be brewing my own beer at a brewery.
Do you want to be owning your own brewery, or do you want to be working at a brewery?
I would like my own brewery, the beers that came out of my brain, giving them to the people.
How much thought have you put into it? Is there a business model? Is there investors? Is there?
There's investors. There's business. It's definitely a business model.
Could you get $250,000? Do you have rich grandparents? Do you have a dad?
That's the challenge. That's the challenge that's coming up with capital.
Yep. I work at Booze Brothers. They started that place with $100,000, but they already had a 3-barrel system at their house. They had a walk-in at their house, a walk-in refrigerator at their house with 15 beers on tap. Their parents let them do that. They had a garage pretty much turned into the same theme as Booze Brothers now. Antlers everywhere, rustic guns, taxidermy. You know, kind of like a real Western OK Corral type theme.
Yeah.
So they were able to start the brewery with $100K. I might get fired for saying this if they hear this, but they're not going to listen to this. Booze Brothers, my buddy Dave and Donnie, they're 30 and 31. They've been brewing since they were 24. Their parents gave them a $100,000 no-interest loan, and we're in our second year. We're going to make the business will make close to $1 million. I mean, beer is just so fucking popular. It's insane. And this is like the right time and the right age because, you know, the IPA is like the Cabernet Sauvignon. It's, you know, what everyone's trying to buy and pick up. And, you know, it's actually a pretty expensive beer because hops cost the most.
Yeah. In
comparison to yeast grain and water. All those other 3 things are cheap. But, you know, like our parents, our dads, they didn't drink IPAs. You know, it's not like they weren't drinking IPAs in the 80s. You know, some people were, but not the masses. So I think if you get in the industry now, late 20s, early 20s, 30s, you can do something. And people are. I mean, you live in Orange County, right? People open up a brewery every single day, seems like.
It's frequent.
Like right next to each other too, like in North County. I mean, there's business parks or industrial parks that have 6 breweries within a 1-mile radius. Is that kind of the gist up in Costa Mesa, or is it a little bit more spread out?
It feels like it's Costa Mesa.
Who's making the money? Who's the biggest puncher up there? Who's the guy that's been around for 3, 4, 5 years that's bottling, getting into stores?
The brewery is a big one, and
it's called The Brewery?
The BRUERY.
I've seen that. I've heard of it. I've seen pictures on Instagram.
They specialize in barrel-aged experimental ale.
Everything is barrel-aged now. Everyone's doing everything. Tequila barrels. Fucking A, man. What did I see the other day? I saw a prickly pear like saison sour beer, and it was the worst beer I've ever had. It literally tasted like trash. Tasted like a fucking dumpster. Tasted like body odor got condensed and then put into a liquid beer. The label was all pink, like almost like a breast cancer type beer, and it was $10, and it sucked. But maybe the joke's on me if people are buying it. I don't know. Something we didn't talk about last night that I wanted to talk to you about was Instagram engagement. Have you noticed that there's like views now on Instagram?
Yeah, they took the likes off of videos and show you the views now.
Yeah, but I don't think they did it the whole way. I mean, some videos have views, some videos have likes. If you have a video, if you post a 15-second video or less, you definitely get views. Why do you think they're doing that? Have you put any thought into it?
I think it has to do with ads.
I think it has to do with bots, because people buy bots that if somebody posts something with a certain hashtag, that app will like it, and they're not even looking at your post. Have you heard about that?
No, I have not heard about that.
The people that want to get like a lot of Instagram followers, they'll buy these bots, and if you post something, you can actually even like set them to timer, so it doesn't look too suspicious. You're not liking
automatically like your videos, generate popularity, and you end up at the top of the magnifying glass.
That's right. And I think that's why Instagram's doing that, because I don't know. I think they're just going more legitimately, like a YouTube route, like a Google route. Instagram sucks. Like the company, like the actual app sucks. I don't even think
it's owned by Facebook. Can you blame them?
It's the worst company ever. Do you remember when Facebook first started getting into a lot of trouble with, I want to promote a business or something. I want to promote something. And my buddies were doing it. My buddies with small businesses would go on Facebook and put a couple $100 into advertising on Facebook. And then you see all the traffic comes from like Russia, India. And you're like a small business in like Oceanside, a small window washing company. You're like, okay, I'm getting likes and, I guess people are liking my page, but they're all coming from like Eastern Europe. I don't know how engaging this is. I don't know. I fucking Instagram app. I really wish Google would have bought in it. I mean, my take on Instagram followers is that people have about 70% of what it shows, right? So like, I guess I have like 2,500 followers on paper, but I really only have like 400.
Yeah.
Not that I bought those. Like, for example, I posted a video of me and my boss and the head brewer at Booze Brothers were drinking rum. We had made some Tangelo rum. We just like a fruit infused cocktail. And I looked at the views and it was like 300 people have seen this. Well, I have 2,500 followers, so they say. So that means like 85% of my followers didn't even see my post. Like what? If you have subscribers on YouTube, if you have 10,000 subscribers and you make a video, YouTube notifies all 10,000 people. That's why if you subscribe to people's channels, you get YouTube emails all the time that this guy made a new video. I don't know. Is followers a big thing to you? Instagram followers?
No.
Would it be cool if you had 500 or 1,000 or 10,000 or 15,000?
If they were legitimate, yeah. But
that's what I'm talking about.
But every other person that follows me it's obvious a spam account.
Like a porno site or some shit.
It's some like, see me on my free whatever. I'm like, no. You're not. They just go to the magnifying glass automatically, pick whatever's the most recent and and like it, follow it, whatever, in hopes that person is a pervy dude that's not too smart to click on their link.
Did you so you saw my me and Retros, they call me scammer. There's a couple other people, but I posted that last thing on they call me scammer page. And okay, so how many followers do you have? Let me pull your shit up. You have like 250 followers. If you post something on average, how many likes do you get from your friends and family and cousins or whatever?
Anywhere between 15 and 30.
Okay, so like 10%, like 5 to 10%. That's pretty good. Most of these guys on Instagram that have like 5,000 or 20,000 or 35,000, 50,000, 100,000, their percentage is like less than 1. So it's like, what's the point of having followers if your posts are fucking dead weight? Like, for example, I would rather have 500 followers and get 100 likes on a post, just an average post, a beer in a video game. 500 followers, 100 likes on that, then have 5,000 followers and get 250 likes on that. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people need to focus more on like the engagement ratio. Like I said, I posted that video at work and 300 people saw that. I have 2,500 subscribers. That means like 90% of my followers didn't even see it. I'm not talking about liking it or comment that. They didn't even see it. I don't know. I've never bought in followers. I've done the giveaways. People probably create fake accounts to do stuff like that. But I don't know. I think most Instagram users, whatever your followers are at, it's literally probably like subtract 80% of that. And that's what you probably really have. I mean, I'm talking about the people that have like thousands and thousands of followers. If you have 100 followers and you follow all your friends and family and all your 100 followers, it's going to be different. You could probably, I don't know what your engagement ratio is or something like that. But I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Somebody has 100,000 followers and they post something and get 600 likes. That's like 0.0006%. It just looks fucking dumb. I don't know. I think it just makes you look like a poser. Do you have any goals on Instagram? Do you have any goals for social media or SoundCloud? Or are you trying to promote anything right now? Robot? You robot hot dog, you?
One of my goals is to start recording music that I make and start sharing it with people on the internet via SoundCloud. So
I love your profile, man. I'm looking at your stuff right now. How many synthesizers do you have? You got keyboards, you got pianos, you got synthesizers. You've got $400 microphones. Look at yourself.
I have two full synthesizers. I have a modular synth. I have a rack.
What does that even mean?
A modular synth is, so there's multiple parts in a synthesizer. There's things called oscillators, there's filters, there's different components in what you would buy. What's considered an East Coast type of thinking is a synthesizer. It's
East Coast type of thinking.
East Coast type of thinking. Yes, it's a mindset. It's a mindset of synthesis.
Okay.
Where Moog, everything's in one box. You buy a synthesizer, it has everything you need. You press the keys, it plays the sound. You twist the knobs, and it changes the sound.
This stuff looks expensive, man.
A modular synthesis takes that full synthesizer and breaks it up into its separate parts.
Gotcha.
So you can Frankenstein your own synthesizer.
It's alive. Weird science.
It is alive, and you're connecting cables. You're routing things. You're doing things to change the control voltage, to change the tempo, to clock. You can insert MIDI.
What's the goal behind this? Is this a personal hobby, or do you plan on pursuing this as a career?
I just love making music.
Right, but
I'm just a big fan. I'm not looking to get paid. I'm just looking to have some fun, make some cool tunes.
I dig you, dude. Dig your style.
If it comes down and somebody says, "I want to pay you for what you do,"
it's there.
Sure. I'm not going to say no.
You have to be an idiot to turn that down.
But I don't want to turn it into some grind, having to do this because I need to get a certain amount of clicks, follows, views, whatever it may be. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to worry about numbers like that.
What's up with these purling videos I'm looking at? Do you purl and get paid and make money and sell them to people?
Oh no, I just purl for fun. Just another hobby. A lot of things on my Instagram are just it's hobbies of mine. I play music for fun. I make purlers because I love pixel art. I love 16-bit era. I love 8-bit era. And hey, I can make my favorite things and maybe make custom stuff and do stuff like that. And I've given them away as gifts. I've made personal stuff. I've made a holiday thing, and people say, "Hey, you should make an Etsy account for this or something," and I'm like, that turns into a job,
Sure.
that you have to worry about profit and loss, and pretty soon
Time,
you're breaking
effort.
out spreadsheets, and the joy of the art goes away, and I don't want that. I want.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be spreadsheets involved. I think purling's pretty impacted. I see everybody doing it.
And
I
then
like
at the same
it.
time, it's extremely saturated. In order to get some sort of recognition, some sale, I'm competing with people like Papas Pilar and Tyler Plurden that get millions of views and have their own websites and are taking real commissions or IG retro everything. They do it because they're good at it. They have time. They have resources, and they have the fans to support them.
I don't know anything about purling. To me, it kind of just looks like tracing. I think it's cool. I mean, everything's kind of laid out for you. Do you consider it an art form?
You have to have a lot of dexterity. You have to be.
What does that mean?
Dexterity is skill with your hands.
Okay.
So you have to be able to place they're very small beads, and if you want to not be there all day, you got to do it quickly too. So there's skill there. It is copying if you want to make something, but then you get people like Papas Pilar or Tyler Plurden
Who's Papas Pilar? Now I got to check this guy out.
Papas Pilar is a gentleman from Sweden, and he does a lot of mashups lately. He's been doing Mario mashups.
Okay.
Where he's putting the Mario Advance sprite face on everything. So he's done things like Teletubbies to he did Kim Kardashian. He put Mario's face on Kim Kardashian in that Break the Internet picture. Very, very hilarious, and he does a lot of street art. He'll put these perler arts out in the public, people to see. He'll find it. He found a mouse hole, right, and he put a perler of just a sign with blood dripping off of it and said "free candy," and it's very creative street art. I love it.
Could you do it? Can you do what these guys do, Papas Pilar and Tyler Plurd? Or is that like that's pretty much what I'm asking? Are these guys like way out of your league, or if you sat there, could you do it? I mean, like if somebody was like, "Hey, Casey, draw."
What they can do is possible. You can do it. You can do it if you put your mind to it. It's not hard. You just gotta be a little creative. If you want to do mashups, you have to understand how 8-bit pixel art works in order to make it fit and seem like it belongs. But it's very doable. I can do it. I have all the resources. I have a plethora of pearls. I have a big old board that I made myself.
No, I know everybody's doing it. That's why I'm kind of, my eyebrows kind of raised, because when I first saw the pearls, I was like, these are cool and stuff like that. Yeah, but now I just kind of, I mean, they're still cool. They're cool. If I want to have a Nintendo character, but it kind of just looks like a coloring book to me now. Is that kind of a diss, or do you think that's accurate? You look at something and it's pixelated, and you follow along, right?
Yep. Mostly.
Right. Like if somebody was like, "Hey, draw a self-portrait," I can't do that. If someone was like, "Paint a picture of the Mona Lisa," it would look like a stick figure. It would probably end up coming out looking like some fucking Beavis and Butthead looking shitty animation or something. I don't even know.
Perler is when you look up sprites, they're pretty much laid out for you.
Gotcha.
And it's just copying what you see.
I still think it's cool.
Unless, like I said, unless you do things like these two guys, for example, who do mashups, like Tyler Purdon the other day, he had a Charmander Bubble Bobble mashup, which I thought was very clever. And he put it on a shirt, and I thought that was pretty cool. It's custom.
I'm not
what
dissing
he
anybody.
does, and it's something that no one else is going to copy. And if they do copy, it's very obvious. It'll be very obvious that they copied it from somebody else.
No, I dig it. If you want to send me some free pearls as gifts, man, I'll put them up. But yeah, I mean, every other post on Instagram now is like a pearl. Pearl.
Yeah.
Pearl on an airplane. Can't say bomb on an airplane. But I dig your style. You pearl for fun. Has anybody ever came to you and said, hey, can I buy that? Is that for sale?
My last pearler, the Inside Out one, was a gift for my niece, and I brought it over there. And one of my sister's friends said, my son is also a big Inside Out fan. Would you be interested of doing a commission and just doing the other characters? I said, yeah. Here's my email. Shoot me an email. Let me know what you want, and if you want a particular style, because I would have done something custom for this lady. I would have taken something from somebody else, twisted it, and made them look different.
What do you charge? What do you base it off? What's your hourly rate for this person?
I never thought about price.
Never even crossed your mind.
Never crossed my mind about how much time would go into it. It's a friend of a friend. It's my sister's friend.
Okay.
I'm not trying to make a profit off of them. They're coming to me because they want something. I'm, going to be a good guy because I like to pearl. I like to sit down. It's very therapeutic. You just sit there with beads and just place them. Turn on a podcast. Turn on a Twitch stream and
Sure.
just hang out and just go to work. I wasn't going to charge her much. I would, if anything, I would have charged her for what supplies would have cost. That way, it would have been a wash.
I'm looking at your wreath right now. This is actually pretty cool.
That wreath was something that my good buddy said. He said, Think Geek has this 8-bit wreath. What do you think? And I'm like, I can do that, but I'm not going to use their sprites. We're going to think about what me and my house, my two roommates, because it went on our door for Christmas, and we all picked out the sprites.
I like it. I dig this. How big is it in real life?
It is
real life.
It's about
IRL.
2 feet.
Oh shit! It's that big?
2 feet. Yeah. It was about it was the biggest wreath in our apartment complex. Very, very popped out, and everyone complimented our neighbors. Said good job.
Yeah, I like it.
It was a lot.
You got 53 likes on this. You have 250 followers. That means your engagement rate is better than pretty much anybody's on Instagram.
That wreath post is I would say, the best legitimate post I've ever posted.
I wish I had your engagement rate. I have fucking 2,500 bullshit ghost follower. Not that my followers are bullshit. The ones I engage with, but who are the other fucking 2,000? You guys are there.
You got people commenting, interacting.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, people with 2,000 or 20,000 followers post something and there's not one comment. I'm like, this is fishy, man. Google's got to come in, buy Instagram from Facebook, and humble everybody. Bring everybody back to fucking reality. Bring everybody back to planet Earth. 100,000 followers. Iger's Nintendo, super nice guy. He posts something and it's got 600 likes, 1,000 likes. It's horrible. Does he even know how many followers are fake? Does he know that 90 or 92% of his followers are dead weight? I like this though. 53 likes. I don't know. Everyone's got to knock this whole Instagram fucking get your follower count up. I think people just need to focus more on engagement. But I don't know. This is cool though. You're saying this thing is 2 feet. Let's see what else you got in here, robot hot dog. Punkachino. How was that beer?
Hands down, best pumpkin beer.
Okay, so I'm looking at your keg grader right now. Say it. California love.
Sorry.
Is that your roommate coming in? Okay, so we gotta get your brewery going, man. We gotta. Am I gonna be Brad Pitt, and you're gonna be the Asian guy, and I have to come in and steal your ID and ask you why you're not a veterinarian every day? Put a gun to your head.
Definitely.
If I come back in 6 months and you have no business model, you have no, not even the slightest idea who your investor is going to be. I'm going Brad Pitt on you from Fight Club.
I'll let you know right now. We're past those steps. We have an investor.
You do. How many? Is it a sole proprietor or is it a partnership?
It's a partnership.
How many dudes?
Me and 2 other gentlemen.
Is that too many cooks in the kitchen?
There's the investor, and then there's me and our partner who are going to be in there. And what our big goal, what the big end game is have a restaurant that brews their own beer. My job, end game, will be responsible of production of beer. My partner will be in charge of the food that comes out of this kitchen.
You want to have a kitchen at the brewery?
Not in the beginning, but down the line.
Okay.
Maybe have one brewery, one place, and then have a satellite place with a restaurant that has, exclusively our beer. Something along those lines.
That's a good idea. That's very smart not to start a kitchen to begin with, because that's fucking probably twice as much money to start up. And these food trucks will come to your brewery. You don't have to pay them shit. They set up out back. They set up their tent. They set up their, their tchotchkes, their burritos, their Taco Tuesdays, cheesesteaks, or whatever. You don't have to pay them anything. You don't need a permit to have a kitchen or anything like that.
Nope.
And it's a really good yin and a yang relationship, because it keeps people there. If the phone calls that come into Booze Brothers, 9 times out of 10, they're asking, what food truck is it tonight? And then they'll come in. No, and they already know
based on what they're gonna be eating that night.
Right, they already know what the beer is, but they want to know whether they want to eat sushi bus or cheesesteaks or a hamburger or Mexican food. And then, obviously, if they're going to eat food, they're going to stay for at least a half an hour longer, buy 1 or 2 more beers. Those beers add up. At the end of the year, you made an extra $100,000 or whatever. I mean, it's all, I'm going off my brewery, the brewery I work at. But, yeah, food trucks to begin with. And then when you really kind of branch out, head closer to the coast, get your beer get your keg beers in liquor stores, restaurants, hotels, dive bars. And then by your 3rd year, you could probably afford a bottling machine, because good bottling machines are about $100,000. And then from there, the sky's the limit. Get your beer in Hawaii, get your beer in Japan, get your beer in Bevmo, corporate chains, stuff like that. So, well, the time is coming to an end, my friend. What'd you think of this?
I had a lot of fun.
I feel like we were kind of tired tonight. I think we kind of blew our load last night.
Just a very toned down, chill.
Yeah.
Talk between 2 friends.
2 friends. Here's the deal. If you ever start a brewery, not if, but when.
It's definitely a win.
I will be the first guy there. I'll show up with a truckload of beer belly drinkers, and we'll spend a couple $100 at your brewery. Scout's honor, man. When you cut that ribbon and walk in, I'll be the first dude in line with fucking 4 growlers to fill up.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan. Anything else you want to say? Anything? You already kind of came clean about how you didn't beat Chrono Trigger 7 times and went on YouTube. Anything else? Did you ever not beat Super Metroid like Quinn?
I've beaten Super Metroid.
Do you want to propose to your wife, your boyfriend? I don't know what. If you date guys, girls. I don't know anybody on this. This is Gamers Talking Gaming, aka strangers talking to strangers. Is there a shout out? Is there, do you have a name of the brewery is there a DBN or an FBN that you guys know what you're going to call it yet?
Brew Makers.
Brewmakers.
BRU Makers.
BRU Makers. And is this like a Costa Mesa thing? Is this more of like
we're looking to open up in Anaheim.
Anaheim. Anaheim's a good crowd. Get that Disneyland crowd to roll in.
Disneyland crowd. The mayor loves craft beer.
And I'm sure that the parents that take their kids to Disneyland dealt with a super stressful ass day. And when the kids finally go to bed, they're going to want to look for a cocktail somewhere or a craft brew somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Brewmakers Anaheim. All right, check him out. Robot Hot Dog. I'm going to go ahead and get editing on this video. Hey, man. Robert, thanks for your time, man. You won one of my giveaways. You're a good dude.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to hang out in real life. You're too close. We'll brew beer. I'll support your brewery.
Brew beer. I'll make you cry over getting your ass kicked at a video game. It's all good.
Which video game?
Whatever you want, dude. Whatever you want to cry over.
Robert just beats me at every video game. That's how he rolls. Games he hasn't even played, he'll just slap you around. All right, brother, man. This is fun. It's been real. As my buddy says, it's been real. It's been fun. But it hasn't been real fun.
Almost, though.
No, I had fun, buddy. Next week we have Demi, Princess Demi. Did you follow her?
I just followed her today, actually.
She's cool. She's my girl. She actually sent me some free pearls for Christmas, and I love her for it. She's a sweet girl up there in Canada, British Columbia. I think she drinks beer.
We'll find out next week, won't we?
We're going to find out next week. All right, brother, man. Anything else you want to come up? You want to get off your chest?
No, I'm all good, man. I got what I need to get off. Letting people know about Chrono Trigger.
Give me some synthesizer on the way out. Give me some, I don't know, man. Give me something. Give me something from the heart.
I want to treat you.
Hold on.
What do you want to do?
I want to treat you like a queen. I want to love you tonight.
You sound like a
sexy lady.
You sound like a black rapper ready to go triple platinum.
Let's go triple platinum.
Straight out of Compton. All right, brother, man. Send me that Send me the picture of the tattoo on your back. I want to see that.
Most Def.
Most Def. That was actually my favorite rapper. Black on both sides. Miss Fat Booty. I love Most Def. All right, brother, man. I'll let you go. I love you, baby.
Love you too, bro.
Dude, you got to do it in synthesizer.
I love you.
All right, brother, man. This is CH, and this is Mr. Robot Hot Dog, a.k.a. Robert, up there in Costa Mesa. And we are signing off. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you next week.